Kids come into foster care through no fault of their own because of a crisis in parenting. They deserve experiences and opportunities just like every other child deserves. Treehouse is leveling the playing field to allow each of these young people to reach their highest potential. On this occasion of our 25th anniversary, I thought I'd give you a little history of where we've come from and talk about where we're going. We originated with social workers at the Department of Social and Health Services, people who worked in the world of foster care and were frustrated that there were no funds to pay for normal childhood experiences. They went from selling one another day-old baked goods to establishing a nonprofit organization and the first program, Little Wishes, which today grants 5,000 wishes a year, giving kids everything from music lessons and an instrument rental like Treasure just experienced, to sports experiences, to milestone experiences like prom tickets and yearbooks, normal childhood experiences. As social workers began referring for wishes, they also referred for clothing. Any of you who are parents know clothing costs to be a huge black hole in your budget, and it was for Treehouse as well. So innovative board members started a clothing closet that turned into The Warehouse, our free store, which today serves 1,800 youth a year, delivering 100,000 fashionable items, new and used, up to $1 million in inventory every year, and almost all donated. And through Holiday Magic, 4,500 kids get a holiday gift in December, and that's all around the state. By the mid-90s, the board wanted to change the trajectory for kids in foster care forever. What they began thinking about was education because they knew the kids underperformed in school. And so tutoring and college preparation activities began serving hundreds of kids each year. In 2000, we established the Educational Advocacy Program, which breaks barriers to education, helps kids get in school, interrupts disciplinary procedures so kids can be in their seat and learning with the right services wrapped around them. This has been an acclaimed program, and in 2006, the legislature funded it, and the state offered us a sole source contract to expand it statewide. Last year, this very promising program was listed as a promising practice in the California Clearinghouse for evidence-based programs. Treehouse has developed a wonderful range of services to enrich the lives of children in foster care. But despite all of our good work, the Washington State graduation rate for youth in foster care persists at below 50%. That compares to 70 to 80% of their peer group. These students are struggling. They perform worse on every educational measure. And I don't need to tell you that young adult outcomes for youth without a high school diploma are dismal, including poverty, homelessness, and criminal behavior. Remember that youth in foster care come into care through no fault of their own. The problem is with their parents rather than with the youth. And so when the state of Washington goes to court and establishes a dependency, when the state says, we will be your parents, all of us become their parents because we are the state of Washington. And that gives us a moral obligation to make sure that every one of these youth have the tools, experiences, and resources they need to succeed. Now, if the moral obligation does not pull at you, the financial obligation surely will, because youth who do not graduate from high school cost us $10,500 a year for the rest of their lives. That's a state study, which we're happy to get you if you want to see the proof. Now, I have been a foster adoptive parent, and I used to tell stories about our family's challenges at these luncheons. My kids are now young adults, 21 and 22, and we've agreed their stories are their own. So I can't keep telling us about them. But let's leave it at this. They had a lot of emotional and behavioral trouble. We struggled together. Eventually, things improved. And this year, both of them are working toward credentials in the trades that they are really excited about and enjoying. Looking back, though, in middle and high school, teachers were very discouraged by them. They didn't see them as people who could ever succeed. We believed in them. We saw strengths that others didn't see. We kept our view pointed at the far distant horizon. I want every youth in foster care to have someone, at least one person who believes in them, to see their strengths, to scaffold through their challenges. And Treehouse is the only agency with the singular focus and with the capacity to do so at a scale that will help youth reach high school graduation and beyond. Our staff agree, our board members agree, our supporters agree. We must solve this intractable problem of this high school graduation deficit. For several years, we've been previewing this goal with you. We've been talking about our work to get here, but today we are declaring the goal and putting a number on it in a very accountable, transparent way that I know you will support. Our goal is this: that foster youth in King County graduate at the same rate as their peers with a plan for the future by 2017. I am so grateful for your support because it is going to take every one of us to make this happen. Because we are not talking about just some youth in foster care, we are talking about all youth in foster care, every youth in middle school and high school. And we will stay with them and add those who enter foster care all the way through the transition to their post-secondary plan, college, career, or service. So I bet you're wondering what we're doing. We're assigning an education specialist to every one of these youth. They're like a quarterback, managing the multiple relationships and activities that are in the kids' lives. We're monitoring attendance, behavior, and course performance to make sure no one slips through the cracks. But beyond those basics, we're working on a very personal plan for the future that youth is in the driver's seat to manage. We're coaching in perseverance and persistence, and we're making sure every youth who wants it has a meaningful extracurricular activity in any of the range of things that might be available for them. I'm going to continue the sports analogy. From first down to touchdown, we're going to call the plays in youth's lives and help them get to their goal. So today, Treehouse is transforming to meet the challenges these youth face head on. We're growing from serving about 350 youth this year to 800 youth by the end of 2017. And we will need $12 million new dollars in order to reach all of these youth, to fully saturate this population, do everything we believe needs to happen so that we can achieve this goal with them. We spent a couple of years in development. I'm so grateful to Regents and 180 Foundation for providing that very early venture funding. And now we're in that phase that I would call venture philanthropy capital, where we have a plan that's well written and organized, projections for the future, a superior leadership team, evaluation criteria. We're ready for each of you who wants to dig in, kick the tires, and join us in going beyond just doing good to having measurable impact. We want to change this problem forever. So to go beyond the one child at a time goodness, which will continue, to that absolute outcome that we fiercely believe needs to occur and we believe we can achieve, which is high school graduation at the rate of the peer group. If you meet any of us on the staff or board, you will meet a fierce optimist declaring that every child in foster care deserves the opportunity to graduate high school and have a plan for the future. I've said it twice, but I'm going to ask you to remember this if it's the only thing you leave with. Kids come into foster care for no fault of their own, but because of a crisis in parenting. They deserve the experience and opportunities every child deserves. So much of the world looks at challenged and challenging youth as people with problems rather than people with possibilities. These youth transform when we collectively have high expectations and hope for the future and see opportunities for them to blossom.